Hey, everybody. Welcome to Renegades Weekly. I am Zach Neubauer. You are...
Joe Vasile.
Joe Vasile. Joe the Seal.
You're not.
Am I the first one to ever say that?
Not even close.
Right.
That was actually a lot of people from Paramus called me that.
Did you ever watch Arrested Development? We're getting right into it.
Yes. Oh, my God, yeah. It's one of
okay.
my favorite shows.
So, Lucille?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it's like, Joe Vasile is like... You could figure out a way to tie that in with Lucille.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Buster lost his hand to a loose
seal. Yeah. And so there was actually a guy I worked with, like he thought that Vasile was not my last name, but it was the Seal. Like it was like a mob.
Hey,
nickname.
everybody. Oh, I thought you were talking about like a morning
no,
shock jock guy.
Yeah, that's Joey the Seal over there. Like,
yeah, you got to watch out for Joey the Seal.
Yeah.
You end up swimming with the seals if you mess with Joe. Is that
swimming with the seals?
Yeah, like if all of a sudden seals made it into like the East River.
Yeah.
There's probably a seal in there somewhere, right? I don't know enough about New York City.
I don't know if it's cold enough. Like, don't seals typically... Aren't they more cold weather? I have no idea. I don't know anything about seals.
You know,
all right, next show.
I should know more than I do.
Why should you know more?
My aunt works for the San Diego Zoo doing like sea lion and seal shows.
She buys and sells seals?
No, she sells seal shells by the seashore. No, she's got at the San Diego Zoo.
Yeah.
They've got similar to like what you would find at like SeaWorld.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a show they put on, and she
Cool.
puts on those shows. So she like trains. I think it's mostly sea lions that she works with, but she trains them to do tricks. She like interacts with the crowd with like one of those little headset mics, and is like,
cool.
"All right, now Becky loves fish. Let's see if we'll get her to bark for a fish. Arf, arf, arf. Oh, here you go, Becky. You know,
Now,
she does like those shows.
What is the difference between a seal and a sea lion?
I think one is a lot bigger.
Is that the only difference?
Have you never seen a sea lion and a seal? Seal is like...
I've seen them, but I couldn't tell you what I can tell you what the difference between a tiger and a lion is.
I would say that like a seal, this is going off purely off memory. A seal is closer to like an otter in shape. Like they're just like a big tubular animal, and they swim like that. A sea lion has like the flippers, and almost walks around like they're on feet. You know, like it's on all four. It's got like a flipper back, and it's like up, like that.
Okay.
Versus a seal, which is kind of more like a little floating missile going around. It's got like more fins, or like only.
Okay.
I don't know.
So it's
in the comment section. If you know the difference between a seal and a sea lion, please go ahead and share. Christy Neubauer, if you are listening, or Christy Dovich, feel free to comment the actual differences because you know way better than I do. But this is Renegades Weekly. It's a baseball podcast about baseball.
As you can tell.
About the Hudson Valley Renegades, the high A affiliate of the New York Yankees. Again, I am Zach, and this is Joe, the Seal, Vasile. I always thought the Seal would sound more like a morning radio guy. Or it's like, hey, we've got Joe and the Seal here to talk about... whatever.
Actually, that's probably what we'd be talking about.
Yeah.
Bunch of fart noises.
So let's talk about the big story in baseball right now. To hard segue off of the Seal talk. Let's talk about the MLB lockout as it pertains to the Hudson Valley Renegades. So I know there's a lot of conversation going on about the lockout. There's a lot of, and brr about the lockout, but
it's very good.
Thank you. We keep seeing people on social media, different teams, putting out how the lockout is going to affect them. And I feel like this is the best way for us to come out and have a conversation about how the lockout is affecting us. So, Joe, based on everything you've heard, you've been in some high-level conversations, you got a lot of ins, a lot of outs. How is the MLB lockout going to affect the Hudson Valley Renegades?
Well, I was just talking to my friend Rob. He's kind of a bigwig. Up in New York.
Oh my.
No. I was not talking with Rob Manfred, but no. The important thing to know, obviously, is that the MLB lockout does not affect us here in the minor leagues. It doesn't affect the Hudson Valley Renegades this year. We're going to start on time. Our first games are going to be on the road this year, down south in South Carolina and Georgia, and then we'll come back home April 19th. Yeah, it's more y'all down
there.
It's
not
yeehaw. Yeehaw's more like
west.
Texas. Yeah,
that's more west.
Come home April 19th, have our home opener as scheduled. And, I mean, obviously the thing is, for us from a business standpoint, from a baseball standpoint, we're thrilled to have a full season that's not going to be affected by the lockout. But, of course, we're rooting for the Players Association and the clubs to kind of come together, get to an agreement. It seems like the news in just the past 24 hours as we're sitting here recording looks like a full 162-game schedule is now back on the table after it wasn't at the MLB level.
Yeah, let's do it.
For a little bit. So hopefully we're able to kind of close the gap there, get an agreement together, and have a full Major League season as well. But at least as it pertains to the Renegades and High A East baseball this year, we're gonna move on as scheduled. The only difference is we wouldn't have any 40-man roster guys on the team this year, but at this level, you'd maybe see one throughout the year. If you saw one, that would be a lot. It's not really typical here. That's something that you would more see maybe affect the AAA roster, the AA rosters in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, and Somerset.
Yeah, I think, just to give a little bit of context, too, as to our relationship with the 40-man roster, we did not have a single person who played for us last year who was on the 40-man roster at the time that they were with the Hudson Valley Renegades. I think now, guys who played for us last year, and I don't think we're allowed to say names, but there are probably now 5 guys, 6 guys who played for us who are now on a 40-man roster of either the New York Yankees or another team.
Yep.
So even if like we're not going to be swimming in guys that are relevant to this lockout period.
Yeah.
So usually you see them right before they go on to be relevant to this lockout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There was one guy with Tampa last year who was on the 40-man roster. That would be a player that was kind of targeted to come here to Hudson Valley at some point this year, whether it would have been to start because he was coming off of an injury, so they might not have put him right here. But at some point this year, you were kind of looking at this guy as a pitcher coming here. But obviously, with the lockout on, that would affect things. But again, you even look at that as it might not even affect anything in terms of the opening day roster because he might not have been here to start anyway.
Right, and I mean, who knows? Maybe they will get the lockout stuff all resolved, and Major League Baseball will be back.
And that's the hope.
And if they did that, they would still predate our home opener. So even if there was a 40-man guy who might have been here, he might still be here by opening day. But as far as we can tell, things are cooking down in Tampa right now. The guys who are able to practice are practicing with, the mystery coaching staff that we still don't know. But I'm assuming that somebody in that facility
there, right?
is probably there. Will also be up here in the Hudson Valley. We hope to be announcing who that will be and have a conversation with whoever our coaching staff is going to be once the Yankees are comfortable announcing that information. But yeah, that's every way that the lockout is affecting us right now. The only real way that it feels like it's affecting us is that we feel compelled to continually be talking about that it's not affecting us.
Yeah,
right.
And that's obviously important. I'll go out and people will know me from being with the Renegades or just from being in baseball and get the question. So how does this lockout affect you? And it's like, all right, I know for us, we're in it, we're seeing it all the time, but not everyone sees it, and it's important to continue to just get the message out that yes, the lockout is not affecting our season and we get to go on as normal. And you mentioned the camp going on right now and down in Tampa. Was just reading something from Brian Hoke, who covers the Yankees for MLB.com, about Trey Sweeney, the Yankees' first-round draft pick last year, and the progress that he's making, and how in the article he was saying that he'll either start in Tampa and be at Hudson Valley at some point this year, possibly early on, depending on the progress he makes over the next couple of weeks. And it's a lot of fun just to see the coverage of these minor league guys that a lot of times those guys don't get covered during spring training because all of the focus is on the MLB team. Well, now the writers are writing about the minor league guys, so it's nice to see kind of the spotlight be on some of the players that are going to be here this year, that you can, go wherever and get to know these players a little bit more before our season starts.
Well, and I'll throw in a hot take. I think, and this is not endorsed by anybody, but I think the lockout might actually end up. You see a lot of people out there having that sort of like, oh, it's ruining baseball. They're trying to ruin baseball, whatever. I kind of have the opposite opinion because I don't think anybody's love for baseball starts at Yankee Stadium. I think it starts at places like Duchess Stadium. I think it starts at the high school level, amateur baseball. I think that's where people fall in love with baseball, is like being in sort of those smaller baseball environments on a warm summer night, watching the game up close, really feeling the atmosphere and that sort of thing. And that's where I think the lockout might actually end up benefiting baseball a little bit, is if the only way to get your baseball fix is to kind of come to one of these smaller venues and get an up close and personal approach that you maybe wouldn't have gotten at Yankee Stadium. I think that's going to actually end up creating better, warmer memories for people than like walking into a big monolith of a stadium and seeing the game from the 300 level, where you're ducking airplanes as they fly overhead. I think this could end up re-triggering some of the romantic feelings for baseball if people start making their way out to more minor league games. That might be a biased opinion, obviously, but I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, it kind of feels like when I first kind of fell in love with baseball, it was like, going to see high school games at like our local field, or we had amateur baseball was really big in Minnesota, and like going to watch the Princeton Panthers take on the Quamba Cubs at a field where like the outfield fence is only half finished, so it's like a chain link fence until you get to dead center field, and then it's an orange snow fence that completes the diamond. It's a guy who wheeled up his like DJ equipment and set it up by the first base, and that's the PA system for the whole thing, and he's blasting thrash metal in our first baseman's ear. Like that is the stuff that made me like love baseball from like a macro level, was just sort of that vibe. And I think people will start filtering to smaller baseball situations when they can't just as easily sit at home, throw on Yes, and watch the Yankees.
Yeah, and even on top of that, we know because we've been in minor league baseball and these levels for a few years, but at this level, it's always sold as more than just the game. It's the fan experience, it's the promotions, it's the theme nights, it's all that other stuff, the overall entertainment aspect of it. And I almost wonder if, like you said, a lot of people in the area who maybe don't live right around the corner from Duchess Stadium but are a little bit further out, who maybe would have come to one game, two games because of this lockout, not only Duchess Stadium but any other team around, since they can't sit on and throw on a game, to be able to come out and get that full experience that kind of goes beyond what you'd get going to Yankee Stadium, going to Citi Field, or I don't want to say Fenway Park because that's a whole other thing unto itself, but like any of these other major league parks, that experience that you don't necessarily get at that level, and you bring your kids and it becomes that family outing, and you realize, oh yeah, we definitely need to come out to more of these, and hopefully it fuels that love of baseball. Because for me, growing up outside of New York, I went to games at Yankee Stadium growing up. I went to games at Shea Stadium with the Mets growing up, and I went to Newark Bears games, who were an old independent team that played in Newark, New Jersey. And I remember when we were at Bears games, getting to see Jose Canseco, but like close up. We were 5 rows off the field. We'd be at Yankee Stadium or Citi Field. We'd be up in the 4th deck, hundreds of feet up above, and those were great memories too. But getting that up close and personal experience that you get at a ballpark like this, or really anywhere that isn't an MLB ballpark, was just a thing that, for me as a baseball-obsessed kid, I just absolutely loved.
Yeah, we had a lot of that when I was with the St. Paul Saints too, because we had Kevin Millar came back and took an at bat, like 3 years ago, and hit a homer, and it was one of the coolest experiences. But you're like up close. There's not a bad seat in the house at the minor league level. You're like right up on top of these guys while they're doing their thing. Rafael Palmeiro came through playing with the Texas Air Hogs.
That's right.
And got a chance to like see. I think his kid was playing on the team, and it was like a father-son thing. Way back in the day, the Saints had Darryl Strawberry come through and play, and you got to see him up close. And that's not just independent. Like I'm thinking St. Paul Saints because that's my background, but like. Walking out into Duchess Stadium, like you're right on top of the action. the entire time.
Right.
So, and this is kind of, I guess, this is turning into one of our more sales pitchy episodes. But like, the vibe is just different at this level than it is at the big league level. And like, I think there's like it's more romantic, I think, than going to some of the bigger monolith ballparks. Like, think of it more in football, but like going to like the big house, and being a part of that atmosphere for college football, and then going to like SoFi Stadium, where the thing is like so built to be like this crazy state-of-the-art thing. It's really cool, but it doesn't quite have that same vibe that like those old crumbling places have. And that's kind of the vibe that you're going to get here. I mean, it's bad. It's a brand new stadium that just hosted the Super Bowl. That's a hell of an atmosphere. But you get my point, right? Like, this feels a little bit more, cohesive and part of the it's just a more romantic environment. And I think here's my challenge to you folks. Every time that you want to post something negative about the lockout, every time that you go back to your Twitter feed, every time you did post something upset about the lockout, go back, count all those tweets and count all those thoughts, and buy one $6 ticket to a Renegades game for every one of those negative thoughts you had, and really spin that thing around and come out and enjoy baseball the way it was meant to be seen. Gosh darn it.
That was brilliant. Wow.
Yeah.
You turned that right into a sales pitch.
I know, and I'm not even in the sales department. I'm not getting commissioned for any of this. I just want to see butts in seats. I want to see people enjoying baseball, and I think this is the place to do it.
I think you're definitely right. Like, I mean, you look at what it is now for the Yankees, and in the minor leagues, everyone's talking about Anthony Volpe. Well, if you came to a Renegades game second half of last year, there was Anthony Volpe right there, 15 feet away from you. Like, there's so many pictures that I've seen of him signing autographs for fans, meeting with kids and stuff like that. And those are experiences that you can get here, you can get in Somerset, you can get in Scranton, you can get, at any of these minor league parks, but you're not going to get that in Yankee Stadium because there's just so much more insulation. Once you get there, and there's kind of less opportunity to have those intimate experiences with these guys and be able to say, yeah, I remember seeing that guy at Duchess Stadium when he was a member of the Renegades, and now look at kind of where he's gone. And you never know who that next Anthony Volpe is going to be, right? Going into last year, no one was really talking about him. Everyone was looking at other guys. They were saying, well, he had kind of a disappointing year after he got drafted and then had the year off in 2020. Then he came out and was just the hottest name in minor league baseball, and he came here to the Hudson Valley. I mean, and you never know who that next one is going to be, and that's part of the exciting part about it. Being at the level that we're at in High A, this is really where you see a lot of those top guys break out and really make a name for themselves, and that's one of the really kind of special and exciting things about it is you can see guys who put it all together and just develop and become those special kind of players that you'll remember watching for years to come.
Well, and Volpe's a good example of like, and I'm not throwing out comparing him to Derek Jeter, because there's plenty of people out there doing all kinds of conversating about that. But like, think about it. Let's say he is the next Jeter. You can come out and see him from 6 feet away.
Yeah.
He's going to come up, take a picture with your kid. He's going to sign an autograph for you. Like you're in like this such close proximity to people who could then go on to be. You don't know what's going to happen once these guys leave these walls and what's going to happen when they get to the big leagues. But you could be watching greatness at its like gestational period, which is really cool. But even beyond just like the Volpes, like the number one on the call sheet type guys, like I had so much fun watching guys like James Nelson last year, where like he started off hot, kind of struggled, and then you saw him like kind of start figuring it back out, as the year goes on. Seeing, a guy like Chad Bell comes up and hits like an opposite field walk-off homer when John Boy Media is here and gets like featured on that like little bit. But like it's just kind of like seeing a guy like Ken Waldachuk, who I don't even know if I can say his name. I'm pretty sure I can.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
he's not a foreign name. Okay. But a guy that kind of was unheard of in the Yankees organization and then showed up here and did not allow a run for his entire tenure with the Hudson Valley Renegades and just like was lights out. Guys who come out of nowhere and just create really cool experiences. And I don't want to make it sound like we're dunking on Yankee Stadium, by the way. That is a fantastic baseball viewing experience, but for a lot of different reasons than you're going to get here. And I think a real passionate love of baseball really starts at places like the Dutch and places like, a high school field out in the middle of a cornfield or something like that, like places you wouldn't expect it to be. That's where I think a real love of baseball starts. So we don't need to belabor all of this. I feel like we've really started romanticizing being here.
Well, at least
it almost sounds like we're vilifying going to the big city, but
at least we did more time on this than on seals.
Yeah, fair. Well, we could pick that back up.
We can.
Yeah, my daughter loves seals. Like,
really,
we went to the aquarium where's the? It's in Connecticut. I always get
Mystic?
lost. It's either Norwalk, Norwich, or Greenwich. It's one of the itches or the Nors. I think it's Norwalk. There's a right on the sound there.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
There's an aquarium, and
I know the one in Mystic, but that's way over there.
Flying around in the water, and she loved it.
Oh,
and
that's
speaking
great.
of daughters, I did tease in the thing that we were going to. I see Nancy commented that it's Norwalk. Thank you, Nancy. That is helpful.
It is.
We had a little contest out on social media.
We did,
pertaining to the birth of my latest child, and hopefully final. Can I say that? Is that mean to say? I hope it's the last one.
If you have a third, don't show him or her this video. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, this is going on the internet. Nobody's ever going to see this. But so we did have a contest. If you guessed the name of my daughter, you got to win Renegades tickets. Right?
Did anyone guess the name?
Nobody did. And
I feel like that's a setup, though.
And it's not like an outlandish name.
I feel like that could be a setup, though, right?
How?
You got all these names, and they're like, well, I'm not going to pick any of those.
I want people here in this ballpark. We just soliloquied for like 20 minutes. We just rapped poetically about how beautiful it is and you should come here. I want to give people tickets, but nobody guessed the name. The name is Harriet Marie. Harriet. There was a lot of like Olivia and Oliver. A ton of people guessing Zach Jr.
What about Rascoon?
Rascoon did not make it. That is still one of my favorite things. That's a bit of an inside joke for y'all, but we've been see, I'm already ready for the Southern Series.
It's perfect.
Yeah, we were kicking around the idea of making a villain for the ballpark, and we'd name him Rascoon, and he'd be like a French painter raccoon who has this really weird vendetta for Rascal. I still think we should do it. And then like throughout the night, like Rascal, whenever he tries to do something, Rascoon is there to try to foil it. Like they're playing musical chairs, and then Rascoon keeps coming out and bringing chairs for other people while Rascal's trying to win the game. I don't know, whatever. But no, we did not bet the name of our child on Renegades tickets. We weren't gonna like, oh well, somebody guessed, Zach Jr., so we can't name the kid that because then I've got to shell out 2 tickets to a Hudson Valley Renegades game in April and May.
Yeah.
So, no, we did not. Nobody guessed it. I have to go back, I guess, and look, and I can check the timestamp. So if it's after this, then sorry, folks. But nobody guessed it as far as I can tell, so nobody wins the tickets. So should we figure out a way to like just give somebody random tickets on the air here? What's a good reason? What's a good thing they can comment? We're already going to give away 2 tickets to someone who comments at random, but what's another way that people can win tickets?
Another way that people can win tickets.
Putting
That's
you on the
great
spot
question.
a little bit.
Wow. I feel like that's a really tough question. I'm
here to challenge you, Joe.
I can think of a couple of ones, but they might get us in trouble.
Let's do it.
With my friend Rob.
Got it. Never mind.
So let's not do that.
Can't upset Rob.
But while I brainstorm this, I do want to say that thank you to anyone who we saw out at the St. Patrick's Day Parade this past Saturday.
Fun.
In the Village of Wappingers going down. We're going to be at the Beacon Parade this Saturday as well. So if you didn't check us out there, head on down to the Beacon St. Patrick's Day Parade this Saturday.
Yep.
Renegades are going to be there giving out schedules, buy one, get one tickets, buy one, get one free tickets.
Yeah,
we're passing out as well, throwing
hats
as well.
Yeah.
People were going crazy for those hats.
I bet.
It was wild.
People love a free hat.
And it's a good-looking hat, too. I wish I had one here to show.
I've seen
that would have been smart if I had
It wasn't
a hat.
one of these.
No, it was not one of these hats.
But These are available at the team store right now.
Mm-hmm.
Renegades.milb.store. No, that's not right.
Yeah, no.
Visit the Renegades team store. You can figure out how to get there.
Yeah. HVRenegades.com. There's a link there somewhere.
Yeah, websites.
I do a lot of
very
websites.
Sales pitchy. It feels like we're very in sales.
It is, but it's only because I'm stalling to try to figure out
how
we're going
to
give
the
away
Beacon
free
Parade.
tickets.
Bring something green or the exact opposite color of green.
What is the opposite
What
color?
time is the Beacon Parade?
That is a great question.
I saw noon on an email, but I don't know if that's an internal email or an external email.
I think that's when we have to line up.
Yeah, okay. Google. Go to google.com,
and
then there's going to be a little search bar, and put in Beacon, New York, St. Patrick's Day Parade.
March 12th.
March 12th. Smiley face, and that should get you positive results.
As opposed to frowny face, which gets you negative results.
I would assume if we're lining up at noon, it's probably going to be at 1. But don't quote me on that because I've never organized a parade, so I don't know how that works.
I've never organized a parade either. But
isn't that weird that we're going to live our entire lives probably without ever having organized a parade? That is one thing you and I will likely never do.
I don't think that's weird. I would prefer, quite frankly, to go my entire life without organizing a parade.
Think about how many people in the world have organized parades of all kinds of different shapes and colors, and you and I have never done it, nor will we likely ever do it.
It's true. I feel like that's you know what? Okay, I'm going to put this out right now.
Yeah, hit me.
If and when the Renegades win the 2022 High East Championship,
okay,
you and I will plan the parade down 9D.
Oh my God, we're all gonna die
to celebrate the championship.
The only way we survive.
Do not hold me to that.
The only way we survive that is if we do it when it's backed up traffic, because people fly down that road with reckless abandon. Can I tell you? Okay, so
we can get permits to get it blocked off.
Can I tell you a great parade story?
Yeah.
It's from my time with the St. Paul Saints.
Okay.
Right. We won the 2019 American Association Championship, and our broadcaster decided it would be funny to put out that we were going to have a championship parade, and it was going to be the shortest parade in championship history. And so the parade was 1 block outside the ballpark, and we went from one street to the next street up in parade fashion, and we got news coverage for it. We did the shortest parade. It was a 1-block parade.
We've got
Shout
this
out to
road.
Sean Aronson for coming up with the idea while all of us were sleeping off the championship fumes from the night before. So
we've got this road here, right by the parking lot. You can just parade right down that
84
into the parking lot. No. When you turn in by the marquee, right the front, with the traffic light.
Very cool.
We just parade right down there.
Go right there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
We could do our own short one.
That's our championship parade. But
right,
we'll plan it.
Did you come up with a way that people can win tickets? Is there a baby-related way that people
Does it have to be baby-related now?
I don't know. I'm just saying it was baby-related initially.
I mean, I'm going to put this out as a way to win free tickets. I have found today the existence of a Renegades theme song.
Oh, yeah, you told me. You just mentioned that.
And if anyone can get me a copy of this song.
So we're not talking the lyrics and you're sending us text.
I want
you
the
have
music.
to send
I want the MP3
either an
file.
audio file or if it's on YouTube somewhere. And here's the thing: the person who's probably going to win this is Steve Gliner, who just probably has it.
Sure,
or Zoles has it on a cassette buried somewhere.
Well, you know what? That would be fantastic if either of them had it.
Either way, I am willing to buy a cassette player and rig it up to record it digitally, and we can play this thing before games. Can you just give us a taste of the lyrics?
Okay, so the song is called Renegades Fever.
Renegades Fever. This would not have gone over super well early 2020, probably.
No. It's from 1999, though.
Okay.
Dusty Callow is
the Dusty,
one.
if you're a fan.
Words and music. I believe she is a fan. I mean, she wrote a whole song. I mean, it was 23 years ago.
Yeah.
And a Google search reveals that she does still do something in this general area.
All right. Cool.
Of the Hudson Valley.
I mean, she's probably the person to start.
She probably is.
With this context.
She probably
you are watching.
Send her an email. Dusty, if you're listening, 2 free tickets.
Hey.
There's a fever burning in the Hudson Valley, and in the summer, that's when we all go to rally around our baseball men. They're the finest and the best. the Hudson Valley Renegades, a cut above the rest. And there's a couple more lines in the verse.
Yeah.
There's a chorus. There's another verse, chorus again, and it kind of plays out. I really, really, really want to hear this song, and if we can use it, I want us to, and 100%. It has to exist somewhere.
Because right now, like, there are so many different types of tunes that are going through my head.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of, like, 1999, is it kind of like a Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera type pop jam? Mm-hmm. Is it kind of more of like an Alanis Morissette, You Ought to Know type vibe? Like, what are we talking here? I got no concept for it. Is it like, sort of like later dregs of grunge, sort of got a little bit of that vibe to it, like some heavy guitar and what is it? I just want to know what it is.
So here's what the description is before the lyrics.
Got it. So it's got a tune description.
This is out of an old Hudson Valley Renegades program.
Yeah,
from,
you've been going through those as like
2000,
prep stuff. Yeah.
So the song Renegades Fever evolved from a radio commercial. Dusty and her husband were driving through Connecticut when a theme song for the New Britain Rock Cats, the former AA affiliate of the Twins, came over the radio, and it was like, if you've ever heard it, it's a decent song. I've heard it. I can't sing it right now because I don't know.
Can't or won't.
I don't know it well enough to
hum a few bars.
I don't know. I can sing you the New Britain Bees theme song, which was an independent team that replaced them. It's similar, but it's not.
Okay.
It's not the same exact thing. But the Rock Cats had a song. The Hartford Yard Goats have a song. But anyway, so that inspired them to write a song for the Renegades, and it took about 45 minutes to write, and it features.
Because the fact that the word "fever's" in it, it also makes me think it's like, that sort of like old jazz standard. Like,
yeah.
Got a fever.
Yeah.
When you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. I'm trying to sing a little to get a little goodwill towards you singing towards me.
I know the song.
Fever! In the morning, fever all through the night.
But yeah, no, this song features electric guitar, bass guitar, saxophone. There's a lot of sax in this song.
This is going to be like Joe Satriani-esque. Like,
drums and keyboards, 3 people singing backing vocals. And Dusty is on lead and harmony vocals. I really earnestly want to hear this song.
If we can find this song,
you can track it down,
we can work it into our game presentation in some way. I'm sure Joel's will be on board for that.
So that is why that's my idea to give away tickets. If you can track that song down and send the audio file to jvasile@hvrenegades.com, that's my idea to give away tickets. I'll do that regardless of whatever other idea we're able to brainstorm.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, that I would love to put that out there right now on this here show.
That is fantastic. Kaylee Sheftick, is there any other way to win free tickets? Kaylee, every Tuesday, including today, we're going to be putting out on social some thing that you have to do on social media in order to win free tickets. We're calling it Free Ticket Tuesday, a very clever name that I came up with.
And what is today?
Today is Tuesday.
No, I mean, what is today's... What do you have to do today?
Oh, today's is a little bit more run-of-the-mill.
Okay.
So, like, for instance, I think it was maybe last week, it was what is the most you would do for beads at Mardi Gras because of Mardi Gras?
Right.
That was the free ticket. The one prior to that was like, what's your favorite thing about your socks? Mm-hmm. We're trying to keep them fun.
Yep. I remember what fictional character would you have to be the manager?
Yep, we talked about that one too. So for this one, all you have to do is tag 3 people that you want to come to a game with.
Could it be any 3 people? Like I could tag
3 people on social media. You could tag.
I could tag Justin Bieber.
Yep, exactly.
Selena Gomez, and I just want them to reconcile and get back together.
I didn't even know they were dating ever.
Oh, years ago. This is we'll talk about it off the air.
I thought Justin Bieber was dating Taylor Swift.
And you know what? Taylor Swift can be the third.
Okay.
We'll make it we'll make it a double.
Chaperone the date.
No, I was gonna say we'll make it a double date.
And she just goes alone.
No, she's there with me.
Ah, okay.
Come on, Zach.
All right.
Come on.
Okay.
No. So those would be my 3.
Tag 3 people, and if you tag 3 people, we're gonna pick one person who tagged 3 people at random on each of the platforms, and on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram are the ones we're running it on.
So we're giving away 3 sets of tickets.
3 sets
one
of
on each
tickets.
platform. Okay.
And for this particular one, since you're tagging 3 people, we're going to give you 4 tickets. You can actually make good on your promise. You can bring 4 people to a Renegades game for free on us. It'll be an April and May game. We've never played baseball this early, and we just really want to make sure that we've got people in the stands to really, get in that vibe, I've heard New Yorkers aren't the hardiest of folks, so like getting you guys to come out in relatively chilly weather, it sounds like is going to be a challenge. But I'm on board for it.
You folks.
Yeah. Like I haven't just moved here and committed my life to this state.
I was going to say, you live here now?
I do.
Your driver's license, I'm assuming, is from New York?
It is not. I need to get on that.
You probably should get on that.
Minnesota. My license plates still say Minnesota. I got to figure that out.
I mean, that's also half the cars in the parking lot.
You know what? So, brief sidebar. Mm-hmm. It feels really complicated to get your stuff switched over into New York stuff. Like,
I wouldn't know. Mine.
I have to go get an inspection done on the car, I guess, in order to get New York plates, and I have no idea how to even begin to get that done.
Well, you go to google.com.
Okay.
New York State inspection, and then I don't know if
that's
New
just
York
going to bring up like Granite Inspection Group, a proud new partner of the
That's
Hudson
right.
Valley Renegades. That was the end.
That's right.
What
Okay, I
you're
wasn't
gonna get.
sure if there was more
That's
there.
what you're going to get.
I don't know if New York is a state like my home state of New Jersey where there's like inspection stations where you drive your car to, or if it's like Pennsylvania where I just came from where it's like, oh yeah, you go to a gas station and you slip a guy $30 and then he'll look at your car for 2 seconds and go, yeah, it looks good to me. I don't know why he's from Chicago.
We didn't even have that. Like in Minnesota, it was like you got a notice in the mail and then you were like, all right, cool. I am now a resident of Minnesota. Give me my plates, please.
Yeah. Oh, I just meant in terms of the inspection. But yeah, I guess the plates too.
No inspection required.
I don't know. I've never done any. You don't have to get your cars inspected every couple of years in Minnesota?
You pay your tabs, you're good to go.
I can't believe that that's true. Are you sure that you haven't been driving with lapsed inspection?
I have
on your car for years.
Never had a car inspected for any reason.
So you don't get like a sticker on your windshield that says this needs to be inspected by this month and this year.
The only sticker I got is oil change.
Okay. We have like 6 people in this office from Minnesota. If anyone in this office from Minnesota is watching,
I bet almost
please come in
you,
here.
I bet almost none of you have gotten your plates, with the exception of those of you who have lived here longer than I have. I think Tyson got new plates.
Sure, but I mean, like, I'm trying to wrap my mind around. You guys don't have vehicle inspection in Minnesota. I can't imagine that.
They're probably like, you're used to driving in all kinds of conditions. You know what your car needs and doesn't need.
Well, no, like, for instance, like in New Jersey, they'll take it through and they'll run it through like an emissions check to make sure that something's not going on there where you're polluting too much, or like they'll come in and make sure that everything's going safely so that it could still drive. In New Jersey, they change the rules around of what they look for and what they don't every once in a while, but you got to take it in every 2 years. I think it's 4 years after you buy it new, and then it's every 2 years from there that you have to go and get it
All I
inspected.
can tell you is I have never in my life had a vehicle inspected. Now, or at least to my knowledge. So, like, if I brought it in for an oil change,
they'll write you a ticket, and well, they won't tow your car, but they'll write you a ticket for it. Huh?
I mean, if you're a police officer and you're watching, bear with me. I've only been here for like almost a year now, but I'm working on it. I honestly just don't even know where to start, because like Cal.
Okay.
So Cal tried to take it in, and this is way off topic. This is why we need baseball.
Yeah,
to get
we need a coaching staff. We need players. We need something.
We need something actual to talk about. But like, she got her New York license, but couldn't do the cars because she didn't have an inspection, and couldn't do the inspection until we got New York insurance, and couldn't do New York insurance until we did the plates. And it was like everybody was telling us all sorts of things. We now have insurance in New York, so we have that. Mm-hmm. But we have not. We are not. The vehicles are not registered in New York.
Yep.
We don't know how to get an inspection. Like, we just and with having a kid in there, like, things just keep falling by the wayside.
No, it's all right.
So we're working on it.
I've got my car. It's got Jersey plates. It's got insurance in Pennsylvania where it's registered. My driver's license is Pennsylvania, but now I live in New York. And hopefully my insurance company isn't hearing me say this, and Pennsylvania has really good rates on the car insurance, better than New York.
Personal,
your personal
stuff.
moving grievance.
Just
you didn't end up giving away because you
it.
refused. Would say, what are her first words going to be? It's like I said,
so
we're talking more of a long-term thing.
Okay, I like this.
But I think maybe
you don't have to be correct. Just come up with
whatever the most creative and yet realistic thing. Like, you don't want to say like, oh, her first words are going to be the Declaration of Independence. Like, it's probably not going to.
We're very close to where it was signed, I think. Where was it signed again? Philadelphia?
Philadelphia.
That's close, right? I have no idea where anything is out here.
We're like 3.5 hours from Philly.
Yeah, so that's reasonable. That's a drive. We could take her there and she could just like start reading it.
Yeah.
You know, she's probably pretty smart. I'm pretty smart.
Between the two of you, you'll be able to figure it out.
No, I like that. So
okay.
So in the comments section, pitch first words for my newborn daughter, Harriet Marie, and I'll pick my favorite, my personal favorite. It is up to my taste. Mm-hmm. Throw it in the comments section if I think it's funny. Funny is what's going to win the day, folks. So go for that. Mm-hmm. But if I think it's funny, you'll win 2 tickets to a game for April and May.
Do you remember what? You don't remember
my first words?
Were you ever told?
Yeah,
what
turpentine.
Your first words are?
No, I have no idea. I'm assuming it's mama or dada.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like to think it was like,
turpentine.
Turpentine.
Do not comment turpentine.
Yeah.
It's already taken.
Like I was working on some wood, and I was like, this needs a little turpentine. I don't even know what turpentine does. It's just a fun word. It's kind of like a porcupine. Like if I had a pet porcupine, I'd name it Turpentine.
Turpentine the porcupine?
Turpentine the porcupine.
That could be the villain.
Yes.
Scrap Rascoon. We get Turpentine the
Rascoon.
Porcupine. I know where we can get a porcupine mascot.
I'm just saying.
That's all I'm saying.
I would love a legion of villains at Duchess Stadium.
It'd be good
and
for
Rascal
heroes and
is
villains.
Constantly having to try to, match wits with all these different villains. Like he's Spider-Man, and these are all the different Spider-Man villains, which I couldn't name. But
that'd be a good Defenders of the Diamond night.
Yeah, it would be.
Spider-Man villains. There was Doc Ock. There was
there was the Green Goblin, and there was the Sand Thing.
The Sand Thing? Is that the actual name of it?
I don't think it's the name.
Yeah,
I don't remember. It might be Sandman, but that feels like
the Sandman. I believe that was a wrestler from the 90s.
I don't know. Comment a villain. Just comments.
The Joker was a Batman one.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of villains up on the board over there.
That's true.
We tried to do something fun, and we were
looking true, right over there.
Villain names.
Venom.
Yep.
I think that's the one that looks like Spider-Man, except the outfit's all black,
like
right?
Symbiote situation. Symbiote. If you know, you know.
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much, but I know that. All right. Anything else that we want to touch on? Any other things that are important to talk about besides progeny and car insurance, that sort of thing?
I think for the most part we hit on everything. Our season's going on as scheduled. I mean, Friday is 4 weeks from opening day of this season.
We're opening on the road, but that doesn't change it. Like April 19th is when you folks that are watching need to really pay attention, or you can listen to Joe on. Have we announced the radio partner yet?
We've not announced it yet.
Okay, well, I'm not going to announce it now. It's not my place.
Yeah.
But we will be on the radio, so you guys can check that out, road games and home games. So start following the Renegades. We'll try to start putting out stuff once we get a little bit closer to road opening day, and then all of it builds to opening day, April 19th, right here at the Dutch. Let's fill the ballpark in April. It's never been done before here in the history of the Hudson Valley Renegades. Bring your butt to the ballpark. Let's have ourselves some fun. Have a good time. Having a ball. There's a shooting star flying through the sky like an almond. We're going to crack it into some... I don't know.
Was that an actual song you were just singing, or were you making that up?
It's another inside joke, Joe.
All right, I'm on the outside of that one.
We did a parody song in St. Paul for... what is it? It's a Queen song. Don't stop me now.
Okay.
We're having such a good time. And there was an inside joke amongst the people on the video team that we would like... See, again, not really for anybody, but we were trying to come up with lyrics for the song, and so we were constantly going like, there's a pita pocket laying in the sun with some cockroaches eating at the sides of the ends, and like trying to come up with different things to say there.
Minnesota people are
we
different.
have a good time, man.
Different.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a good way.
Sure. Anything else, Joe, that we want to talk about? Cool.
Explain that.
All right. Renegades Weekly, like and subscribe or whatever on the podcasting stuffs, and visit the Renegades website and follow us on social media and follow our TikTok and our YouTube and our Snapchat and our Twitters and our Instagrams and our Facebook. And I'm petering out already saying all these different things.
I think that covers all of them.
Yeah.
You got the TikTok, right?
I did get the TikTok. Yeah. Get tickets to Renegades games in general, but specifically buy tickets to the cool sounding ones, and then
they're
come
all
on
cool
out.
sounding.
They are
ones.
all
what
cool
are you
sounding.
talking
Come on
about?
out, have a good time, have a ball. For Joe Vasile / Joe the Seal, I'm Zach, the farmer Neubauer. Neubauer means new farmer in German.
Huh.
This has been